Hello guys, welcome to Online Web Tutor presented by Customizations team. I am Sanjay. We are learning nodejs with MySQL APIs. This is our part number 23. Inside this video session guys, we will discuss about joins in MySQL query. So before this playlist, if you have studied about MySQL, then you had seen about the concept of joins in that. So in terms of joins in MySQL query, we have called inner join as well as outer join. In outer join, we have two different types of joins called left join and the right join. So right now, if you have no concept about joins in MySQL queries, don't worry at all. If I back to browser, go to YouTube channel. Now inside the playlist of MySQL Basics and Expert Sessions, we can find videos of all that. So if I click on this playlist, now this is the detailed playlist, and inside this we can find about the videos called joins in MySQL. Inside here we had seen about inner join, left join, as well as if I scroll down, this is all about our MySQL expressions. Means here inside this playlist we can find all about the detailed of joins in MySQL, so we can go and learn from that. So rest, inside this video we are going to discuss about that how can we implement inner join in MySQL query. So if I back to browser, back to our table, now inside this database, right now we have two tables. The first table called table branches, which basically contains about branch details. It means that we have branch ID as well as branch name. ID1 it means computer science, second means mechanical, third means electrical, and fourth means civil engineering. We have the second table called table_users, in which we have stored all the users information. So the first user has branch ID 1, it means that the user 1 belongs to computer science. The second and the third user have their branch ID 2, it means that they belongs to mechanical branch. But if we go to the output screen, now this is the API where we have listed all the users what we have inside our TBL users table. Now we can see inside this list that ID, name, branch ID, email, and phone number marks all these columns we have inside our table called tbl_users. Now instead of branch ID 1, we want that computer science should be here. Instead of branch ID 2, we want that the character values, or let's say mechanical branch, should be here instead of ID. So how can we convert this ID value to our respective branch's name? For that, we are going to use called inner join in our simplest MySQL query. So if I back to Node APIs, now this is our Node application, and inside this is the route actually we are just outputting in our Chrome browser. Here we have selected all the users from tbl_users table. So let's say that select all from tbl users as user. I am just giving a alias name. Alias name is that we can use this alternate name instead of tbl users. So let's say user.all. It means we are going to select all the data from our tbl users table, or simply we can select, let's say, user.id as, let's say, user ID, user.name, let's say as username, let's say user.email as, let's say user_email, let's say user.phone number as user_, let's say mobile. So if I break this query to two lines, or let's write into a single line. So user ID, we have selected ID from our table, name, email, and the phone number. Now let's select about the branch name. So here, let's say that branch dot name as, let's say, branch underscore name. Right now, this is the alias name we haven't defined inside this query. So let's define that. So let's say inner join. This is inner join we have to specify as a keyword with, let's say, tpl underscore branches. Now this is the second table we have defined in our database as, let's say, as, and this is the alias. So on what condition actually we have joined these two tables? So if I back to our table structure, now if we see inside this tbl branches as well as tbl users table, so we can observe that id column of this table seems to be branch id inside this column. So on the basis of this branch id and id, we can connect and communicate and get that value. So again back to editor, select on means here we are going to specify our condition. So let's on, again back to our query. Here let's on user.id, sorry, user.branch id. It means inside users table we have branch id column equal to dot id. All we have done now, we have just compared about the branch id columns of users table with the id column, and on the basis of inner join we are just selecting all the values. So if I back to output screen, reload this page. Now as we can see here that instead of branch id we are getting now respective branches name. So in the simple concept, joins are nothing. Joins are used to basically join two or more tables. To communicate or take all the attributes or tuples from two or more tables, we basically use joins in MySQL queries. So let's see about left join in action. So right now, let's say that inside this users table, I am to change this 10th number ID user to, let's say, 30 branch ID. And as we know that this 30 branch ID does not exist inside this list, we have only 4 IDs. So if we will use about inner join, so inside that condition, if we reload this page, now the 10th number ID is not available inside this list, because on specifying about on condition inside this inner join, we are not going to take the value of branch id 30 inside this tbl branches table, because 30 number id does not exist inside this tbl branches table. So while comparing this value, it is not getting that value and does not get or be available inside our dataset. So how can we prepare that data also in our dataset? So to make available that user also inside our list, we are going to use called the left join. So here, before that, if I just copy this query, back to our slide, open a new tab, pasting it here. Now this is all about our inner join. So inside left join, only we need to change instead of inner, we need to write left here. What basically this left, or in right join, right refers. Left join refers that this is the left table we have used. So while writing this query, this table gets more preferences as compared to the second table we have mentioned. So while using right join always means right table always gets about more preferences in comparison of our first table. So while specifying left table, So let's say that in this left table we have some rows which is not available inside this second table, then it will be also available inside our result set. So how is it possible? Let's see about writing this query in our API. So instead of inner join, let's say that it should be left join. Nothing to do, only we need to change the keyword here. So again back to output screen, reload this page. Now as we can see that inside this list again we are getting about the same user, but this time branch name equal to null. Why? Because id equal to 30 does not matches with the branches table. While going through these users, all we have IDs in our table, so that's why it is returning about the branch name instead of null value. But in this case, we have no branch name according to our branch ID 30. So the left table, that is tbl underscore users, get more preferences in comparison of tbl branches. So if we again explain about what basically left join is, so left join means that all the rows means all the values should be available of the left table. If suppose we have no value in comparison of the second value, then no issue at all. We have all rows of our left table. So inside our query, as we know that the left table is tbl users, it means that we are going to specify all the rows what we have inside this table. While using right join means that while using right join, the right table contains all the rows in the output screen. Let's say that we are going to insert one more row, and this is something, or instead of adding new row, if I go to table and change this ID, let's say up to 400, click on enter, and as we know that this 400 ID does not exist inside this tbl underscore users. So if I go inside this query and change instead of left to right, so as we know that the right table has more preferences in comparison of left table, so in this query the right table we have called tbl branches, because this is the first table as left table, this is the second table as the right table. So while using right join, it means that we are going to select all the rows from this table. So again back to output screen, reload this page. Now we are getting all the values of our right table. So we can see in this output screen that the first column we have computer science, mechanical, electrical and civil engineering. All these four different branches we have at our output screen called computer science, mechanical, electrical, as well as we can see about civil engineering. So while writing right join means all we are going to specify all the rows of our right table. It does not matter that either we have value inside our left table or not. So while getting three different values in our left table, it has mentioned all these values. Otherwise, if it does not matches, then it will return the null value. So this is all about inner join, left join and right join. If in case you don't understand about this concept, then please refer these videos to get the complete details while going through MySQL joins. So inside this video session guys, if you went out, then please drop your comment. I will give my reply as soon as possible. So for this video session guys, thank you for watching and have a great day.